What's up, everyone? Happy Monday to everyone. Kind of let some people get in the group and then go from there and start asking questions and see what comes in. Just in my home office, chilling right now. See who ends up joining. I see there's a couple people in here. What up, Skull? Try and let a couple more people come in here and then we can start talking some stuff about some of the parts. Probably the new downpipe we have coming out. Just taking care of a couple other people's orders right now. All right, so go ahead in the chat. You can throw up some questions. I can answer them regardless of what it is and go from there. I don't know how many people are going to get in here today. We'll see. I'm actually doing this on my desktop now. Last week I was on the iPhone, so this works a little bit better. Last week we did it at 6 o'clock. I don't know if that's a better time for more people or 5 o'clock. So I'm kind of testing out both and go from there. Just trying to let some people get on here. I guess I can start talking about the downpipe. So we installed it. I didn't want to put an install video yet because we're still doing some patent pending stuff with it, and I don't want other companies ripping off the downpipe and the idea that I came up with. But I did do a teaser of it, the startup yesterday. Startup was open downpipe. There's no exhaust on the car. So David, um, that's just mainly due to trying to get rid of weight. So when we take the car to the track in October, November, I can try and get the best time. So that startup was catless. I didn't do catted just because it's going to sound pretty much identical to the PRL one. Um, it's not going to be much sound difference. But the catted sounds super sick with the, you can actually hear the school. You did not hear it all with the PRL catted. Slightly. I'm still waiting. So what we're doing with the downpipe is we have to build one from scratch now. So I'm waiting on some flanges coming in, and we need to do a time study of how long it takes to actually build per downpipe. And then I can get an actual cost of what these are going to cost for pre-sale. So I'm just waiting on that right now. I know it's kind of annoying. A lot of people are hitting me up daily asking when these are going to go. So I would say maybe a couple weeks. I should know. I was hoping to have info here soon. Our Type R guys and Accord, RDX, TLX. I'm already working on a 2-liter downpipe that'll be identical to the 1.5. So I probably would say those won't be out till like November or December even. This 1.5 downpipe has already taken me like 4 months to create with ideas and figuring a jig out and tooling. But it's happening. Anyone wants to ask a question, you can go ahead and add it in the chat box down below. I'll go through them, regardless of what it is. You're asking about parts, stock, ideas, different things. go ahead and shoot me a message down here in the lower corner, and we can go through it all. It's actually cooling down here in Phoenix. I think we're only at 104 I saw today, and it actually felt cool going outside, which is kind of funny. But I mean, when it's been 110 to 119 for like 20 days straight, it feels a lot better when it's down this cold. All right. Anyone with questions? Go ahead and ask. Trying to let the chat kind of grow a little bit. There's 10 people right now in here, so we'll see who wants to actually chat. Last week I did it at 6 o'clock, and it was a good turnout. So this week I'm trying 5 o'clock, and we'll kind of go from there. Let's see. In the clutch and K-tuner, what are some must-haves for the 11th Gen Civic? I would probably say downpipe and front mount intercooler would probably be the next go-tos. When you start adding boost to these stock turbos, they just start throwing hot air, and the stock intercooler can't really cool it, especially after a couple of runs back to back. The intercooler gets super heat soaked. I would say those are intake. You're not going to see a lot of gains honestly on this. Unfortunately, it's more sound than anything. You will notice gains when you actually get a custom tune, but I haven't seen, for some reason, the math kind of recalculates every time and it just messes with the tune a little bit. They're not showing much gains back to back, but I would probably do an intercooler or the downpipe, to be honest. All right, David, I can't do any more mods till I upgrade my clutch. Already slipping. Got twins on the way. Oh boy, well, I used to have twins, or a handful. I was a stepdad in my last marriage. Yeah, I would hold off. Just wait till you can do the clutch. They do a clutch to the RB6 retro. That's the best for this car. Or you can buy E-Man's one, who is the person that created it. He's from NA Performance, but his is around $1,900, which is the one we actually have in our car. Because at the time, I don't think, when I did that one, I don't think RB6, I think they might have just released theirs. Yeah, you don't want to run ethanol until that clutch is changed out because it's just going to slip instantly. I mean, honestly, the 11th gen pretty much slips just with the K-tuner upgrade. So any mods beyond that, you're kind of stuck. Yeah, when you go ethanol, it's night and day difference. It's like the best addition to the car, especially if you're stuck with 91 junk octane. Stuff is horrible. Yeah, I do have, for anyone else in the group, I do have a couple ethanol kits for the 11th gen from the previous non-Wi-Fi ones. They're actually at a good price, so got 3 left of those. Do I need to upgrade my turbo and downpipe to run an inlet pipe? Oh, this is a good question. I get asked this all the time. All right, so Accord, TLX, RDX guys. I wouldn't do an inlet pipe until you change out the turbo. Here's why. Stock turbo on the Type R does not have an O2 sensor on the turbo. It has it on the downpipe. Accord, TLX, RDX guys, O2 sensors on the turbo. So what happens is to run the turbo inlet, you actually have to move the O2 sensor to the downpipe and plug the hole if you're keeping the stock turbo. And what it does is it actually throws off the stock tune. So you would actually need to get it tuned just to run an inlet pipe, and there's no point, to be honest. You're better off just waiting to do an inlet pipe when you swap the turbo. Now, if you're going for show, you're still going to need to tune. So it's a good question. A lot of people ask me that all the time. And, yeah, glad you did. So now people know if they're actually watching. Yeah, the 91's always going to get KCON. Always. That's nothing really to worry about too much. It's just, that's the nice thing with the K-tuner over Hondata is you're getting a lot more fuel features than the Hondata offers, and that's why it's a lot safer to go with the K-tuner over Hondata on the 1.5 turbo. Yeah, well, the 11th gen, I'm not racing it right now because it's 120 out in Phoenix, and it probably would run like shit. Or also all our tracks are closing in Arizona pretty much. So I have to see October, November if tracks are still open. And that's when we're taking the car out. I have to redo the whole suspension. As been watching, I'm redoing the front brakes, do a straight drag setup, cut weight. I've taken out about 350 to 400 pounds out of the 11th gen. So I'm just waiting for the cooler temps, and we're going to swap the bigger turbo on from RV6 and hit the track and hope for an 11-second run. It's got all the stuff to be able to do it. So it just depends on the track. Arizona's not the fastest track, but we'll see what it does. And then once that runs, we're going to take the motor trans, everything out, and put in the 2-liter. So. All right, let's get back to more questions. A little bit people are actually in here today. About to get started working on my all-wheel drive Civic again here soon. Just had a concrete floor. Sweet. I love all-wheel drive cars. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's not. I don't. It's not fun. I just had a whole day yesterday working in the garage here, and it was probably averaging around 111, 12, probably about 130 in the garage. They don't have AC in the garage. Because really in Arizona, it's only really hot in the garage for about 3 months. Yeah, it is not fun working on a car. That's why a lot of people are like, when are you going to be doing this and that? It's like, it is so hot here to work on a car. It's not fun, especially like as I get older and keep working on cars, it gets very exhausting. All right, more questions. What's up? Did you dizzy? So funny. I know all these people on Instagram and like Facebook, but then like when it comes to some of their handles on YouTube, I have no idea who it is. Ah, well, if anyone while I'm here, if anyone wants a beautiful condition 2021 Audi RS, still have room to bring a trailer. This is the last day it's on there, and the bid has not reserved yet. So if anyone knows a family member that wants to go on there with bid price. So and a fun car. All right. PRL single exhaust. Well, PRL are getting a lot of stuff worked out, kinks with their business changing. Um, they're no longer shipping any parts from PRL. Everything's being shipped from distribution warehouses, which is why a lot of things are messed up right now. So wait times for PRL are anywhere from like 3 days to like 2 months. So I think they're getting all that stuff sorted out, and then the pre-orders will go live. I'm assuming August sometime, judging by what's going on with them. I would say at least around that. But don't quote me. I'm just giving you my thoughts. Yeah, all downpipes will work with stock turbo or aftermarket type R turbo. They're all the same on as far as downpipes go, pretty much. For guys, if you're using a stock turbo, you just plug the O2 for the Type R and run the O2 on your turbo, stock turbo. But we have the downpipe there if you want to go ahead and change turbo out. All right, so Stephen, more stuff. Just joined. Is that sweet beeping downpipe going to be available for the tension? I have to verify. I've heard there's some slight differences on the tension. I sold 11 tension guys because it wasn't available for the tension. I'll probably find someone and have them test out that downpipe on tension just to make sure we're good to go. I know they're real close, but it should be fine. But we'll launch the 11 first and then try and get someone another pre-production you can throw on there. So if you want to send me an email at axionindustries@gmail.com if you want to try one out, I have the one available. I can give it to you at a discounted rate, and you can test it out. And I think it's a fit. In the back, I'll refund, but you're out all that time. But I'm pretty sure it's going to fit. It's just the front pipes are pretty different. The actual exhaust hanger location is completely swapped from a 1010 to 1110. All right, second videos have been fantastic. Any plans for L15 project? Already done an L15 fit sitting in the garage here. Um, a couple of videos that I posted driving it. That project took 5 years to do, and the swap probably is around 12 to $13,000 for a swap. I actually sell the swap on our website for around 6 or 7,000. Plus, you got to buy the trans turbo. That usually doesn't come with it, and then I give all the other parts in the wiring. I don't think it's really. I would say it's not worth it. I think I'm just a little exhausted by that project. It took a long time and a lot of money, and it's sitting right now. I just don't have time to work on it. Um, I might be actually Hasport might be buying the car from me. I have too many Hondas and too many cars right now, so I need to try and get rid of a couple to make room for other projects that I have going on. So the fit is really fun. Weighs around 2,400 pounds, 23, and it's just got the stage 2 tune on it right now in 91. So, but it's quick. Um, let's see what else do we got. Sorry, trying to read all these. Cool. It's probably because I'm in a room right now. I don't know. I haven't really tested out this way as far as sound and that goes. Um, Let me try a couple things on here and see if I can get it changed out, and if that helps at all, let me know if it does. I can always go on my cell phone, which was fine last week. Yeah, there's one of the fit in I think the shorts video of it idling, and then there's one of me driving, and I think getting on it in like third gear, and it moves pretty good for the 91 tune. I have the flex fuel on it, but I never put in flex fuel yet, and it just got so hot here. I just haven't been driving it. Any more questions? Keep them coming. This actually is a good way because I can reach out to a lot more people in one sitting and answer a bunch of questions instead of a bunch of messages throughout the night. So it works good. Yeah, the fit it's awesome. I think over the years of working on it and other people working on it and it going around from place to place and the amount of money and headaches that car has been, I'm just kind of over it at this point. Um, we do have our 9th gen Civic drag build that we're doing, and plus I'm doing the 11th gen street drag build, so I don't need another car to work on anymore. So I think it's going to go back to Hasport. They're probably going to do some stuff with it. At least I know it has a good home over there, and it'll benefit those guys. So you haven't checked out VTech Academy, definitely go on YouTube and type in VTech Academy. They just went over 100,000 subscribers, but they have tons of good projects on there and a lot of good info for you guys to check out. Yeah, the car actually sat at Hasport for probably about 4 years. So taking out the L15, putting in a K series, putting in a new K series, they made a bunch of different mounts off of our car for the community. So, yep. Yeah, the 11 gen is actually pretty quick for the stock turbo. I think with the turbo upgrade, it should run an 11.9, 11.8. That's my plan with the car. I think I know, a lot of people with 10 gens ran low 12s with the stock turbo. So I don't see why this car won't. But there's a lot of things that come into factor, especially like the track conditions, altitude, temperatures. The 11th gen's a little heavier than 10th gens, so yeah, I'm actually going to have this week. I will probably take the 11th gen out and do a couple pulls on it, maybe with the Dragy, and let you guys see how it sounds under full throttle. The SI axles are fine. You could probably run about 600 horsepower on those before they have an issue. It just depends on how the problem with the axles on 10th gen, 11th gen is it's very hard to pre-stage and load up the clutch due to the parking brake. That's why I have the drag brake that we're trying to get done on this one too, so I can load up the clutch a little bit so it doesn't shock the drivetrain so much. If I do snap an axle, it's probably because it's already leaking grease right now. I don't know how that happened, but it's pretty common with these cars because I've seen a lot of people. But yeah, the SI axles are fine. I mean, most stock Honda axles can hold 500-600. Yeah, the grease, and then it gets all over your wheels and suspension. That's never fun. The other thing to check out for the 11th gen and 10th gen guys is I've seen it quite often is the oil leak that a lot of people have, and they can't figure out where it's coming from. It's usually on the exhaust cam seal on the driver's side of the head. You'll see like a little pool of oil that sits. If you're looking towards the front of the car, it's right in front of the direct injection pump. There's like a black little gasket plate that sits there that is famous for leaking. It's been leaking on our car for over a year now, and I know it's pretty common on a lot of other people's cars. All right. Yeah, it's just, you just got to redo the gasket, and yeah, it's just a pain. I've just left it because I'm getting rid of this engine and I really don't care. It's not leaking too bad, but it just makes for a messy underside of the car. Yeah, I ended up putting a bunch of Honda Bond around it and it still didn't even help. So the only way to fix it is to take it off, get a new one, and put it back on. What's up, Andy? Good to see some more peeps coming in the group. I think we're going to be doing this every Monday. I think I'm just trying to figure out between 5 and 6 what times would work. It's the end of the month today, so get those orders in. We'll have to, this was our best July ever. So thank you to everyone that ordered this month. And we keep growing, so it's always a good thing. I've been doing this since 2009, so. The only thing is I am traveling in September for a little bit. I travel a lot for fun or whenever I can, and I try to do 2 pretty big trips a year. So I'll be gone in September for some time, but business runs the same as it always does. But I might be doing some actual from wherever we are. I'm going to be in Spain, south of France, and Italy, and London. So you might get to see some footage from over there or from a hotel room. All right, man. Later, Tuna. Man, 10 a.m. in Guam. How's island life? All right. Shoot me some more questions, dudes. Probably stay on here another like 10, 15 minutes or so we can try and pick up some more people. Last week we were on for about 45 minutes, I think, and it was actually a pretty good chat. I may end up going to every 2 weeks because it's hard to come up with stuff to talk about every week. So, oh, nice. You're gonna love a good typhoon. Yeah, Arizona, this is so weird. Well, at least where I live, like we usually this time of year, if you want to come out here for the storms, we usually get some really gnarly storms coming up from Mexico. And it's actually nice because the temperatures cool down to about 89 degrees, 90 degrees, but we have not had, at least where I'm at, not had one bit of rain this year. So it's kind of sucked. Oh, all right. So how'd you figure out more fuel on a 2.0 Accord? If anyone wants to follow someone, go follow Andy. He's actually got a really fast 6 speed Accord that he's been working on for a long time and is about to get even faster. So we're still waiting on a 10-second 10th gen Accord. I was gonna say, did anyone see the drama with FK8 Tune today? It's pretty crazy stuff you see on the internet. The downpipe, I'll go over it again since more people are on. Just waiting to finalize the price. We're doing a downpipe from scratch right now to actually see the build time, so I can actually get it quoted an exact number. So I know I'm making some profit on it, and it's the lowest price I can get you guys. So until that, I can't really come up with a pre-sale price. So I would say within a week to 2 weeks. I'm waiting on some brackets to come in or some flanges. And once I get the flanges, then I would assume, build time on these are 4 or 5 hours each. So once I have that, then I can actually launch the pre-orders and go from there. But I'm assuming once we launch the pre-orders, it'll be about a month to 2 months till they start shipping. I'm still not sure how big of a batch I'm doing this first run. Still a small business, so it's a lot of money, buying bulk in these. But that's why if anyone can pre-order, we're actually going to do probably a 10% off pre-order to help out the people that are helping us basically, get these going. So let's see, Frankie, what brakes do you recommend for the RDX? Well, we sell the fast brakes kit that they made for our RDX, and it's I believe, a 14-inch two-piece rotor and a 6-piston Wilwood caliper. Super nice kit. Actually doesn't really add much weight to the car, which is good in rotating mass. It's probably actually lighter than the stock brakes. I think they retail for around 2,000, so they're not cheap. Yeah, this downpipe is going to be a game changer. I can't believe nobody's really thought about it. I mean, I don't know how the EPA would feel about it, but that's the reason we kind of did the downpipe the way we did, is it's giving people an option to stick to the rules of running a cat on the street and then being able to use the downpipe for race purposes and follow the rules the way they should be. So, all right, let's see. Do the charge pipe makes a huge difference with the intercooler? Yeah, they actually do. I feel like the throttle response is a little better. The stock couplers are so soft and under boost, you'll usually see them flex a lot, move a lot. But I don't think you're really going to gain a lot of horsepower out of them. Nobody's really dynoed them, to be quite honest. And am I a Suns fan? Oh, well, I don't really watch basketball much anymore. But when I did, I'm a Celtics fan. So I grew up in LA mainly, and then I lived in Europe for a long time. But I'm mainly grew up a big Boston sports fan. I just love Boston. And the first team I really got into was the Red Sox in the early 80s. And then the Celtics followed, and obviously the rivalry with the Lakers and Celtics. And living in LA, it was just crazy. So, let's see. Will the downpipe need a tune? No, it doesn't need a tune, but it will most likely need a K-tuner to get rid of the O2 sensor check engine light. I haven't really checked that yet. It's a 400 cell cat, so it's got a good chance that it won't throw a code, but I'm honestly going to say it probably will. So yeah, I've been to several Boston games. I think I've been to Fenway maybe, I don't know, 19 times. Been to a couple ALDS games and ALCS games there. I've been to a Celtics Cavs playoff game when LeBron was first with the Cavs. That was good, but the Celtics lost by like 24 points. But I mainly just watch. I mainly stick to soccer from the UK. That's my biggest sport. Obviously, I lived there for 7 years, and I just got my British citizenship. So I'm part. I have my American citizenship and my British, so it's kind of cool. All right. Any other questions? Let's keep them going. I was actually looking forward to Monday. Is there anything anyone wants to see on the channel that maybe I haven't done? I mean, I can always get parts in here and go through some stuff or install stuff or give you guys reviews or. Yeah, the manual needs to be in the 11s on the Accord. I'm surprised it hasn't actually. Automatics are really cool for the Accord 10 gen, but like there's a limit and they're pretty much at that limit right now, I think. I don't see them getting much faster. So I don't know if you're talking about, but I got the Sparco bracket to work in the 11th gen. It is very close, but they're just slightly off. So what I did was I had to re-drill every hole where the bolts go in the chassis to get it just enough to have enough clearance for it to work. But I got it, so it works. So yeah, if you want to get a 10th gen Civic one, and then you just have to re-drill out the holes, and then you just kind of tweak it a little bit, and it'll work. So trying to bring you guys some parts to figure out so you don't waste your money and do it that way, even though I've wasted a lot of money on this car. Had to like use it as an open box discount, but that's how we get all the info. Okay. Was Guy turning Honda in the UK like the US? I don't know if I understand the question. I don't know if you meant to say tuning. But I didn't live there when I drove. I mean, I've driven in the UK several times, but I didn't drive when I lived there. Might seem like a dumb question, but I'll randomly get boost lag after shifting gears when I'm done roll racing at the track. Do you have this problem at all? I mean, the only thing like I have had is obviously sometimes like going from first to second or that. If it's still spinning quite a bit and I shift too quickly, it's going to fall out and it's not sitting in that perfect power area. But I haven't really had anything. It could be the tune. It could be a bunch of things. It's kind of hard to diagnose over here. Yeah, comparing good parts to crap would be good. Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's a lot of good parts out nowadays. I mean, there was a few years of just horrible stuff. I mean, that's part of why I lean so heavily on the PRL product because their stuff's just such good quality compared to some other companies. RV6 is amazing too. The downpipe that we made, I mean, the people that guys that I can't mention them online who actually does the work for us because EPA wise. But I mean, their welds are just so sick, and everything's done by hand. There's no machine doing lasers. So VTech will probably never come back the way it used to be. I don't see it happening. A lot of it's because of emissions. So, I mean, you got to think like all these cars are made for 98% of the population that don't care about doing what we're doing. So it's all about fuel economy and lower emissions. What coilovers are on my GK? I actually run buddy clubs on there. I've had them on there forever, but I think one of them is actually blown. If I was going to run coilovers, it would be the BCs or silvers. Silver stuff is just, it's amazing. Really good quality. All right, some more questions. Yeah, the silver stuff's so good. I can't wait to put them on my R11 gen. I've got them sitting on the bench. I'm just going to powder coat some stuff before I leave for Europe, and then that way it's done when I get back and swap everything over. So on the 11th gen, we're doing like rear camber, lower camber, toe, anti-lift. We're doing front Wilwood two-piece rotor kit, and then putting in the silvers, which are a 12K front and 18K rear. So hopefully it'll give us a good launch. I'm hoping for like a 1.7 60 foot, but we'll see. Then it's 2.0 turbo time. Oh man. Can't believe it's already August. This is insane. Yeah, I think the car should run good. I mean, it's pretty fast on the street. I just get no traction right now, so the slicks will definitely help out. As long as the tracks can stay open and not get bought out by another builder, then I'll be good. All right. How many people we got in here? We still got a few people in here. All right, so I think videos coming up down the road. I've got the one where we're gonna let you hear the downpipe full throttle. That should come this week. I'm actually getting married on Friday, so y'all can order on our website as a wedding gift to me. That would be nice. So there might not be some stuff for a few days, but I'm trying to bring at least 1 or 2 videos a week. And obviously these Mondays would like to answer questions. Anyone in here got a new Type R or a new Type S? Thank you. Yeah, we're just doing a small courthouse one because I'm getting married in the UK next year. So it has to be legal in the States. If I keep looking down, I'm trying to read everyone's chat stuff here. So yeah, the Type S is really cool. I mean, I don't know what I prefer, the Type R or the Type S. I would probably get a Type S just because I have the FL1, so I don't need another hatchback that looks the same. But we've already been selling a bunch of parts to Type S guys, so if you know anyone that needs parts, just waiting on Hondata to update their software so the Type S guys can get a tune. Well, I want to thank everyone. We went over 2,000 subscribers yesterday, so thank you to all the new people on the channel. Welcome to my company. Oh, man. I'm just in my home office, actually. So the way Axion works is I have a home office, and then we have a small warehouse where most of our parts are kept. We don't touch everything or ship every single part. Some stuff just gets drop shipped because it just makes logistical sense from some of the other warehouses we have. So, but we're still a small business, trying to grow. But I'm at this point where I'm really comfortable with where I'm at business-wise, that I like where it's at right now, and I don't think I really want to grow too much more because then I won't have a life. So. Yeah, David, it could be your clutch a little bit too. When you're shifting, it could be slipping a little bit. I mean, there's so many little things that can come into play on these. Well, you actually can swap a 2.0 Type R. It's actually fairly simple. So if you've got a 10th gen or a 11th gen Civic and you want to do a K20, you cannot, well, you can do a Type R if you want. You're wasting your money, to be quite honest. The only way the Type R will run in there is if you have a Motec, which is $9,000 ECU. If you want to run a 2.0 Type R style motor in there, you need to get a K20 C4 out of a RDX or a 10th gen Honda Accord. The reason for this is the electrics are the same. The Type R electrics are a Bosch unit, which is not utilized in any other Honda besides the Type S. So it doesn't work with anything you've got in your standard Civic. The reason the K20C4 works is because your entire engine harness completely plugs in to the K20 harness. You'll need to upgrade to different injector clips, which we actually have here. You can solder some in. You'll need axles. You need the Hatsport mounts. You just get the Type R ones. You need to custom do some stuff with radiator, cooling stuff, intercooler, piping. It's not going to be cheap. I mean, the swap alone, I mean, we're doing it, so I'm just doing a more full drag version of it and not keeping the direct injection. But with the K20C4, your max you're going to hit is around 500 wheel horsepower, which is probably suitable for most people. But you would have to be running methanol injection also on there because the fuel system is so small. But if you want a car at like 400 wheel, super easy. So you need to change the oil pan. It's best to just do Type R oil pump at the same time. There's a lot of little things to do, but pretty much it's, as far as swaps go, it's not too crazy. Exactly. Yep. So basically you just have your K tuner, you just throw everything in there and turn on the car and you're good to go. And the nice thing is all your electrics will work on the car and everything. So it's not as hard. There's quite a few people that have done it with the 10th gen, and the 11th gen should be almost identical. So yeah, I mean, if you blow your L15, you're better off just doing a K20 C4 swap, because rebuilding an L15, number one, it's going to cost you about the same amount, and you're pretty much stuck at like 400 wheel, 400 torque. But the engine's not going to last as long as a K20 C4. So safe amount of horsepower, you're looking at like, well, stock turbo max you're going to get is 270 wheel horsepower and 340 torque on ethanol. And that's about the limits. If you swap the turbo out, They usually will tune down a little bit on the torque, and you're going to probably be around 330 wheel and 330 torque. So, but I mean, you're close to blowing that thing up. Yeah, the K20C4 is just. It's funny how many people ask, like, "Oh, are you going to swap a Type R motor?" I mean, the K20C4, besides a few differences and the electronics being the main one, they're basically the same motor. That's pretty much why I was actually going to swap an older K series into our 11th gen, but I figured that swapping the K20C4 would be just all around a better thing to bring more knowledge out on the swap, and it's just in all the newer cars. So why not? The old stuff's already been done and it's dated. I mean, you know, making 800 horsepower in an older K series is like it's not even anything in nowadays. All right, any other questions? I think I'm going to end this soon. We're at about 46 minutes here. Nothing wrong with being a noob, man. We all got to start somewhere. I'm also almost 50, so I've been in the game for a while. Yep, it's funny. I feel like I was actually in the Honda game back when Hondas were actually slow. All right, so I think I'm going to call it there. If anyone has a question, just post it up right now and then I can get to it. If not, we'll be back next Monday with some more stuff, hopefully more info on the downpipe. I know everyone's waiting for that. I think they're jigging up the 2-liter one this week or next week, but that's still ways off, but still get people excited. Yeah, so if you need parts, just go ahead and go on the site. If you don't see anything you want for your car, but it's not on there, hit me up. I can always add it. I'm actually in the middle of redoing our website. Well, my fiance is actually redoing it because that's what she kind of does. So I don't know when that one will launch, but the old website, I can add stuff. I'm not really adding a bunch more parts because we're converting to the new site. So, but if you need something, go ahead and let me know. I can get it to you. Have a good night, man. See you next week if you can get on. Probably at 5 o'clock West Coast. I think that worked out good. All right. Hope everyone has a good night. I'm signing out. Thanks again for tuning in with us. See you next week.